Meet Leo and Marcus. They grew up on the same street, went to the same school, and graduated with the exact same degree. At 20, they started working at the same construction company in the Midwestern United States. Same salary, same opportunities. In fact, their starting salary was $40,000 a year with an average annual increment of 5%. If you saw them back then, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But 15 years later, their lives don't even look like they belong in the same world. By 35, both are earning roughly $80,000 a year. Same income, but a completely different outcome. The invisible difference. Most people think wealth comes from income. It doesn't. It comes from what you do with income. Leo is drowning in stable debt, while Marcus has stepped away from full-time work at 35. The difference isn't luck or a secret inheritance. It's a psychological software update that Marcus installed and Leo ignored. Today, we're breaking down the critical differences between a wealthy and a working-class mindset. The trap of linear income. The first difference is how they trade their life. Leo believes in linear income. He thinks, if I work 50 hours, I get 50 hours of pay. To Leo, time is his only currency. When he wanted a bigger house, he asked for more overtime. He traded his Saturday mornings and his daughter's soccer games for a slightly higher paycheck. Marcus, however, became obsessed with passive income. He realized that if income depends on time, it stops when time stops. While Leo was working overtime, Marcus was spending his nights building non-time-based systems that worked while he slept. Reward versus seed capital. It's bonus season. Both men just received $5,000. Leo sees this as a reward. He's worked hard, and he feels he deserves something nice. He uses that $5,000 as a down payment on a brand new SUV. Now, he has a $700 monthly payment and an asset that loses value the moment he drives it off the lot. Over 5 years, that car will cost him $30,000 and be worth only $12,000. A net loss of $18,000. Marcus sees that same $5,000 as seed capital. He doesn't see $5,000. He sees a future dividend stream. He buys a boring index fund. At an average 10% annual return by age 35, that single choice grew to $17,000. The gap from that one decision alone is $35,000. Leo bought a liability that disguised itself as success. Marcus bought an asset that was invisible to everyone else. Monthly habits and lifestyle creep. Wealth is really built in monthly habits. Leo's lifestyle grew with his income. Better cars, upgrades, and comforts that cost him an extra $500 every month. Marcus made one rule. Lifestyle stays the same. Savings increase. He invested that same $500 a month. At a 10% annual return over 15 years, Marcus's monthly discipline turned into $207,000. While Leo upgraded his life, Marcus increased his investments. By age 35, Leo saves 5% of his income. Marcus saves 35%. The compound effect and risk. Marcus didn't invest huge amounts. He invested consistently. Total invested over 15 years was $90,000, but his portfolio value hit over $300,000. Why? Because of compounding. Returns generating returns. Leo avoided risk to stay safe, but he stayed dependent on one income source. If his company folds, he loses 100% of his livelihood. Marcus viewed safety as a cage. At age 30, he took a calculated risk and bought a small rental property. By 35, the rent covers the mortgage. He has $80,000 in equity, and he earns $500 a month in passive income. The moment of truth. 15 years later, the gap is no longer psychological. It's visible. Leo is bitter. He blames the government and bad luck. He has a fixed mindset, believing his situation is everyone's fault but his own. His net worth is less than $50,000, and he is still trading 60 hours a week for a lifestyle he can barely afford. Marcus is free. His net worth is over $400,000. At just a 4% return, he has $16,000 a year in passive income. It's not luxury, but it is freedom of choice. He didn't get lucky. He simply made 1,000 small decisions differently. He chose growth over comfort, assets over liabilities, and long-term freedom over short-term dopamine. Wealth isn't about what you earn. It's about how you think about what you earn. The difference was never luck. It was a pattern, repeated daily, quietly, and unnoticed. Leo worked hard for 15 years, Marcus did too. But Marcus made one critical shift. He stopped working only for money and started making his money work as hard as he did. So ask yourself, are your decisions today building pressure or building freedom? Which mindset are you feeding? Don't just work hard, work smart. See you in the next one.